Kia ora, more warm temperatures around the eastern side of the country, but take a look at this pressure setup. It's pretty much the pattern as we head through the rest of today, but also through Saturday and for most of us even through in towards Sunday as well. We'll continue to see this band of wet weather feeding in towards Bulla. Some heavy rain and some thunderstorms with that through today and through in towards Saturday. Ahead of that, those strong northwesterly winds running through parts of Marlborough and Canterbury this afternoon and sticking with us here in Wellington and Wairarapa through Friday, Saturday and I think even through towards Sunday. Up north with the higher pressure, generally the better parts of the country to be. If you're looking for dry, fine weather, places like Auckland not looking at too bad, areas of cloud here and there. But the other thing we'll find is, along with this wet weather, these northwesterly winds drive very warm air across us, and particularly for those eastern parts of the country, temperatures climbing into the 20s, even as high as 27, 28 degrees for parts of Hawke's Bay down towards Napier and Hastings. But like I was saying, there's no great change in the way the things are set up as we head through towards Saturday. We keep hold of that wet weather running across the top of the South Line, still with those stronger winds running in towards Wellington, more cloud across the western side of the country. We will find those showers get a bit more oomph through the afternoon on Saturday, and some of those will be heavy and thundery up that western coast. Some stronger winds as well around the likes of Stewart Island. Further east, we'll find that those westerly winds will mean it's still very warm for places like Canterbury, Hawke's Bay and Tairafti, with those temperatures still very warm. And it's worth saying as well, there's not an awful lot of respite through the night time either. We keep hold of that warm air mass over us, and so it means our nighttime temperatures are not going to be particularly low. Places like Napier, we're looking at around about 16 or 17 degrees Celsius, and even in Wellington, I think we'll find lows around about 13 or 14, so very warm indeed. Taking a look at Sunday, you can see there is a little bit more of a northward progression. Still with those northwesterlies ahead of it, so for us in Wellington, around the Marlborough Sounds as well, it stays pretty windy throughout the weekend. That rain slowly starts to clear away during Sunday from the top of the South Line, so an improving story for you. But you can see with the return of those white colorations across the top of the Southern Alps, we're also starting to lose some of that warm air as well, and then colder air coming back northwards. So it is, I think, going to be a windy story for many spots of the lower North Island on Sunday. And I think we still got that rain to clear through as well. So although at the moment our warnings and watches only run through till the first part of Saturday, I think it's very likely we'll find those watches and warnings extended into perhaps Saturday afternoon and even through in towards Sunday for parts of those middle areas of New Zealand. Worth keeping a close eye on the forecast. Looking ahead in towards Monday, we'll start to find more of these fronts moving northwards. That wetter weather gradually making its way closer towards the North Island. But I think really it's not until about Monday afternoon we start to find the heavier rainfall running towards parts of Taranaki and Manawatu. And by the end of the night, we might just start to find it pushes up in towards Waikato, Waitomo. But even then, up towards Northland and Auckland, although we find our winds increasing, most of the time it's not looking too wet at all. I think the heavier rainfall arrives as we go through in towards Tuesday as that front runs northwards. There comes colder air with it as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see some thunderstorms on that. Start to find a bit more of a push into that rain in towards the eastern coast as well during the daytime on Tuesday. But then things are looking a little bit more settled. Higher pressure builds back towards us as we head in towards Wednesday. With a lot of those westerly winds, it's no surprise to see this kind of pattern in our rainfall charts, with the heavier rainfall on those western sides of the country. We'll find as we head in towards, say, Tuesday next week, we'll start to get a bit more rainfall crossing towards the east as well. But generally, it's that warm and windy weather in the eastern side more than anything else, whereas places like Taranaki, the Aotearoa range, the central plateau, catch that heavy rainfall. And really, it's not until about Tuesday we start to find that rain edging northwards, but I think places like North and Auckland might find a few showers and might be quite drizzly at times over the higher parts of the country, but it's not until that next band of rain arrives Monday, Tuesday, you get that substantial rainfall. For the South Island, it's a bit of a different story. There are some heavy rain warnings already in place, particularly for places like Bulla, up in the ranges through there, another 150 to 200 millimetres of rainfall. That line of thunderstorms that ran through them first thing on Friday stays very close to hand throughout Friday afternoon, even through towards Saturday. And I think for Saturday afternoon, more heavy, thundery weather around these western parts of the South Island. So you can see that red and purple line there, a good indication of heavy rainfall, and it's quite slow to clear through. Some of it will spill across into towards the headwaters of Canterbury as well. But you can see generally the further east you are, the drier it will be. I think there are still some showers to come through, but mostly on the eastern side, it's windier and it's warmer, but it is drier. So do keep a close eye on those warnings and watches, especially for that heavy rainfall through parts of Grey and Buller, perhaps even towards parts of the Tasman region as well, especially those areas west of Motueka. As we head through the next few days, that front takes its time just to clear away. But like I say, the eastern side, it's generally drier and warmer. Look at this warmth of coming across from Australia, runs across towards us. These eastern areas really getting that boost from those northwesterly winds as well, with temperatures climbing to around about 27, 28 degrees Celsius in places like Napier and Hastings during Friday and Saturday. Once we start to head through in towards the weekend, we'll start to find that cooler air starting to creep northwards. It takes its time to reach the North Island, but I think Bracknell is something a bit more normal for the time of year. Not cold by any stretch of the imagination, but I think compared to that warmth we have through Friday and the weekend, it will feel much more bearable. We keep hold of that warm air, not just during the daytime, but also overnight. And I think with the extra humidity that is also dragged in on those northwesterlies, it can be quite muggy. So something to watch out for those nighttime temperatures as we go through Friday night into Saturday morning, and also Saturday night into Sunday morning. For next week, we start off with higher pressure towards the north. Now, it starts to push across. I think, again, those northern parts of the country generally faring better in terms of drier weather. We will start to find another set of northwesterlies back towards us as we head through Friday of next week, pushing more of that wet weather on towards the western coast. But generally, it's not a bad looking story through next week. Higher pressure then back in as well for next weekend. So hopefully next weekend, looking a little bit more settled for those middle parts of the country. But I think for this weekend, we've still got more of the same, more windy weather for Wellington, Wairarapa and that eastern coast, and also more of that wet weather, particularly for places like Buller and Grey as we head through the next few days. Well worth keeping a close eye on the forecasts, and you can find all of that information at metservice.com.